Good morning. Today's video is going to talk about how to find primary source pictures, documents, and other types of items associated with our topics. When you do a History Day project, it's not enough to just tell what happened. You need to provide actual evidence that supports the facts that you're presenting and the analysis that you do in your project and the conclusions that you draw. So it's going to be important that you actually have photographs from the time, newspaper clippings from the time, quotes from people who were there, maybe letters or speeches or other types of things, diaries. And the best place to find those are actually from the source where they reside, not in another place. So if you just find it on a website, it's not really a primary source unless you're finding it maybe from like a library, a presidential library, an archive, or a museum. So one of the ways that you can best find some of these sources is to type in your topic and then put primary sources behind it. So for our purposes, I'm going to use the Shuttle Challenger explosion of 1986. And there I've typed it in there, Shuttle Challenger explosion primary source. I'm going to click enter, and a whole bunch of stuff is going to come up. But I see some of these are better than others, like Space Shuttle Challenger documents at the National Archives. National Archives is really good. Challenger explosion from NASA. NASA actually runs the space program, so it would be from that time. Even newspapers.com, which we've used before, is going to have some probably articles from the time period, and we could use some of those headlines or articles to help support the facts and the conclusions and the summaries that we're providing in our project. Looks like the Indiana Historical Society has some stuff. And then here's the actual investigation of the Challenger accident, and it's a government document, so it's like from the U.S. government. So let's just explore some of these. Let's look at the archives. So like National Archives or Smithsonian are really great museums, so they oftentimes house primary sources. So when I click on that, look here, President Reagan was the president of the United States at this time, and these are all documents related to the Shuttle Challenger explosion. Document 1 appears to be a speech, maybe, that the president gave, an address to the nation about the death of the Shuttle Challenger crew, and look, he's even marked it up, so this would be awesome to have. So we can look through that. There's more than one document here, evidently. Document 2 is a memo that somebody has written regarding the speech for him. Document 2 is presidential remarks that he gave following the shuttle explosion. Document 3 is a memo that was sent out about the death of the Space Shuttle Challenger crew. So you can see there's a whole bunch of stuff here. We would need to actually cite these documents individually, so we would have to go into EasyBib and pick speech from EasyBib and cite it in that manner. So I'll just show you really quick. I'm not going to go through the whole process, but I'll just show you where to find it. So if I go into EasyBib and I go into Create Citations, and I go over to More, I am going to look for speech. And if I want to speed this up, I can just type in SP, and it should go to it. No, it did not. So we'll just try and look through here. Conference, Congress. See if we can find it. We could probably either go with a press release because he's actually going to publicly speak it, or possibly just a government document if we wanted to, or government publication. I'm going to go ahead, I think, and just go with the press release. And then when I do that, it's going to pull this up, and I get to actually write down all the stuff that is needed on here, and then I can complete the citation. So if it's in print, which this one is, I would click in print, and then I can put the info in there. So, and that'll be a primary source in your annotated bibliography for that. All right, then I can go back out of here And again, I can see, maybe I want to go to NASA and see what's here. This looks like an accident report. So this isn't really probably what the report looked like. It's just transcribed. So I might use it as a source, but it probably wouldn't be great to put in my project just because people aren't be able to look at it as it was written. Maybe I want some newspaper headlines to really support what I'm talking about. And it might even have perhaps like pictures. Here's a picture of the crew. Some of these I can see here, the space teacher is ready to go. They sent a teacher up in space. Here's one about the shuttle explodes. Here's a picture of the explosion. Here's a flow chart about it that I might be able to use to show what was going on. Here's people's reactions to it. The teacher's sister and family were watching the explosion, and here's their reaction to it, a picture of them. So that really gives a perspective on that particular explosion. Then it starts to talk a little bit about, what caused it to occur, all sorts of stuff that we could use to support the information that we're sharing in our project. Also, if we come down here, let's see what else we can find. Maybe this investigation of the Challenger accident. This would be a government report on the accident. So I'm just waiting for that to load. It's probably fairly lengthy, but maybe I would put the cover of that in, and I might take some quotes from that to put within my project. So you can see it's 450 pages long. That's pretty long, but this probably has some pretty substantial information. It's got a table of contents, so maybe I can go to the parts that I want. It might even have some pictures or drawings or something in here that I could use. So anyway, these are examples of primary sources. Maybe I want some photographs, and I know a lot of you just like go to Google and grab photographs. That really isn't the best thing to do because you have to know where the source of those photos. And Google is not a source. Google is a search engine. I'm going to try this Indiana Historical Society. That's not what I want. Maybe I'll try primary source photographs. And here we go. Just trying to look through here. Pinterest is not a good site to go to. But here we have an archive in Boston. It says the Challenger disaster remembered in photos. So when I click on that, here we go. They actually have the photographs. There's 34 photos total. It tells the source of them, so we'd want to cite the original source of them. A lot of these would be great to use within your project. So this is just a really great source of photographs from the time period that support maybe some of the stuff that you're describing or explaining in your project.